Scott Wilkinson here, Director of Content at AVS Forum. I'm here with AVS founder David Bott and Jim Venable, the President of the Wireless Speaker Association, otherwise known as WISA. And I understand, Jim, you got some news for us today.
We have been very busy recently. We've just announced some new members, and we think they're pretty significant ones. The high-end speaker manufacturer Dolly was just joined us, as well as Onkyo, which is the AVR company out of Japan, and a company out of Australia, Amber Technology, has joined us, which now puts us on almost all continents except Antarctica, and we're working on that one. And one that's very interesting, which is Gibson Guitar Corporation, joined us. So we had a meeting with Henry at Gibson, the CEO, and the man has big plans for the home. So he's buying interest in companies that are very famous in the AV world, and it looks like he's going to do some great things.
So what will Gibson Guitars do in the home?
Well, I'll let Henry tell you what his specific plans are, but he has it's published the fact that he wants to get into lifestyle products, which is a euphemism for in the home or in the home theater or in the living room, if you will, and leverage the Gibson brand. And he said he's been looking for a multi-channel wireless technology for years, and found the WISA Association, and he said, "I'm in."
I remember when you guys came on board the last home theater cruise, and we opened up the show with a demo with the audio. And at the end of the demo, everybody looked around, and I pointed out the speakers. And I made sure to say that, just notice the speaker wires go into the speakers. They're not speaker wires, they're power wires. And everybody kind of just gasped. It was amazing because of where we come with a wireless technology, and not just stereo or not just a subwoofer wireless, but we're talking a full 7.2 system. It was amazing.
Yeah, and we've now added a tagline that hearing is believing, because most people, they really don't believe that surround sound can be wireless because they've had bad experiences in the past, and a lot of interference and a lot of hisses, pops, dropouts, and they just wind up packing them up and taking them back, to the point where you really can't find anything beyond a soundbar and a subwoofer that's wireless anymore. So that's what's really unique about what we're doing, is that we understand that the consumers had those bad experiences. So we want to be able to certify that wireless interface between a transmitting device like a DTV or Blu-ray player or set-top box or whatever, and the receivers, which are the speakers. And so because we were able to certify that wireless interface, as well as interoperability between brands, so that when the consumer sees that WISA logo on a product, take it home, put it up, plug it in, turn it on, it just works. So we know that they need to have that confidence because of basically the bad experience they've had.
Just to put that in perspective for the AVS members, kind of like you trust Wi-Fi right now, you're going to be able to trust WISA. So if you see that logo, you know it's going to work. And with consumer brands like Onkyo and others getting involved, it's going to be so much better for those of you who live in apartments or condos or what have you, just to be able to put a system in and not have to worry about running speaker wires everywhere. As long as you have an electrical outlet for power, you got a speaker system. So now, it's amazing what you're doing.
Now, are there any products on the market at this point?
So at this point, what I can say is there's going to be between 15 and 20 products rolled out between now and the end of the year. We've got a major announcement at CEDIA this year. One of our members is rolling out products. And then a couple of weeks after that, there's going to be another major announcement that from a high-end brand manufacturer that you all know and love, that are bringing out several product lines based on this technology.
Do you still have the Aperion system out there?
The Aperion system is still there. I'm not sure exactly what stage they are with follow-on.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure looking forward to seeing some of those products. We will certainly be at CEDIA, and looking forward to that announcement and the other ones that are coming out by the end of the year. I'm also very excited about this whole technology because, like everybody else, I've had pretty poor experiences with wireless audio, and to think that there might be a real standard that works really well, I'm very excited about.
Scott, you'll be amazed when you hear this for the first time, like we were on board the ship. I mean, people got up and they didn't believe it. They went and looked for speaker wires, and they could not believe they were listening to high definition audio, right from a Blu-ray player that was actually going through a wireless system.
So just one more point on that, and what we're talking about here is 24-bit up to 96 kilohertz audio. So that's theater quality audio in your living room.
And that's uncompressed.
Uncompressed, that's right.
What kind of bandwidth does that require?
It's not really. It's not very much, actually. So we operate in the 5.2 to 5.8 gigahertz range, and there's 24 channels to pick from. So what that allows.
And by the way, let's make sure we understand this: 24 transmission channels, not audio channels.
That's correct. So each transmitter puts out 8 channels of audio to each speaker, and the speaker picks off what they are, whether they're left, right, or center, or whatever. So, but each speaker gets all 8 channels. So that way, the manufacturer can have just one SKU for the surrounds, and you can mix them up and do whatever you want. And then he's got a sub and whatever else he has in his system.
That also brings up an interesting point on what you mentioned, and it doesn't matter, as long as it has your logo on it, you can use a speaker from one company and a receiver from another, or a TV from another, and if the TV has your system built in for 7.1, you can buy brand X speakers and it's still going to work.
Interoperability.
Interoperability is a key thing, because we want to make sure the consumer has the flexibility to pick and choose whatever they want from whoever they want and build the system at their own pace. So they can start out with a 2.1 system and then, get their bonus check and go out and buy the surrounds, and then, at Christmas get the rears. And they can pick whatever is on sale or whatever. As long as it's WISA compliant, it doesn't matter.
And the beauty part about that is, as you mentioned, you can just grow your system as need comes. And it's just in my experience and talking to people over the years, it's something that was greatly needed. And I, for one, am glad that you guys decided to create a standard behind it, because this will never work without standards. And now that you have standards, we got a lot.
And that's been the issue. Everybody, because there's been a lack of a standard, everybody's out there trying to do their own thing, and now we got a whole bunch of proprietary stuff out there, and they don't work together, and half of them don't work well at all, because they're still trying to use the Wi-Fi space or Bluetooth or something, and it just doesn't have the bandwidth, or it doesn't have, or it's too congested, and so that's where you get in all the collisions and all the interference, and everybody just forget it.
We should set up blind tests for AVS Forum members. Seeing is believing. Catch them on video and then publish that.
I have had golden ears come into our sound room at CEDIA and our suite at CES, and now they do the thing. They put their head down and they just listen, and they say they cannot tell the difference between wired and wireless.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you, Jim.